Hi, beautiful people again. Hope you're doing fine. I'm glad we are having another episode with you, beautiful and amazing souls. We are here to discuss simply as I said earlier on, unveiling the silent stories that we were never allowed to tell, because I believe all of us have those stories that we were never allowed to tell. This is a conversation that is supposed to be very relieving, very helpful to ourselves and the listeners out there. So before we get to dive into that, we're going to do a little exercise, just to put us in the mood. I asked you guys off air, how do you feel? I would love the listeners to also listen to your answers. So I'm going to ask again, how do you feel? I'm going to start with Jay.
Right now I'm feeling nervous.
Amazing.
Kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kinda tired, kinda stressed, depressed.
Okay.
Great question. How do I feel? I feel tired, fatigued, excited. Every time I'm with my siblings, I just feel this air of excitement just being in this space with amazing human beings.
Okay, the next panelist.
I feel excited, happy, and also anxious. It's this kind of the year that it's most traumatic for some of us. So I do not know what to expect. So
Okay. Well, I feel excited about this conversation. I feel, of course, this weather works really on me, so I feel cold as well.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I feel tired, but I would call it hangover, because it was a long night for me last night. So yeah, I feel I have some little hangover within me. So I want to welcome you all once again to another episode of Echoes. To my heart, a circle of truth and healing. This is where we have conversations in regards to our community, how we feel, the stories that we go through. And this episode in particular, we are discussing or unveiling the stories that we are never allowed to tell. Before we actually start, I want to know each of you differently. Of course, you're not going to say our names. We are going to introduce ourselves through speaking how we feel. That is number one. And also, I think we're going to do a little exercise. You're going to tell me, according to how you feel and the feelings that you just shared, I want you to give us a color that represents that, and that's going to be your name throughout the entire conversation. I'm going to start with the person in the middle.
Yeah.
And please, you tell us why.
Yes, the color. How I'm feeling again, I would say I feel excited, but a little bit tired. My favorite color, I wish the people that are listening were in the studio with us, is black. I love black, and for me, it is in all the good ways. Speak about maybe, is it a black man? Is it a black book to read or something? I feel good.
Well, thank you, Black. Next person, please.
My feeling, I said excited. Actually, I have a mixture of feelings, so lots of things. So I think I also have many personalities. I'm a jolly person, so I think the card that best describes my feeling will be a rainbow. Yeah, multiple feelings. It's me.
Wow, it's very colorful. Rainbow, black, and
Well, Mona has taken my color.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to choose another color.
Yes.
But I'm really a fan of black. But according to what I feel right now, I can say gray.
Okay. That's a rare color, really.
Yeah, so like,
But it's beautiful.
It's rare to like. I can't really know like which colors they add up to make gray.
Okay.
Yeah, and currently I have a lot of mixed feelings. Been a very, very weird year for me. Yeah, so I'll choose gray.
Well, at least I know for sure that in the colors that make gray, there is black in there.
Yeah.
So you're sorted with your black favorite color. Well, black, rainbow, and gray. We're going to dive into our conversation. And our first question is going to be around, when we are talking about the stories that we do not tell more often, I remember that kind of silence that sits in your throat and weighs down your chest. For me, it was the silence after being told I hid who I was. It wasn't peaceful. It was like a punishment. So as we are sharing today, we want us to echo so loudly inside the noise that is in you, that has sat in you for so long, and you've not been given a chance to bring it out. It could be an experience, it could be anything through your voice now when we are having this conversation. So I want to invite you back to the first moment when you felt like your voice is being taken away from you. What was that, and how did that silence sound like inside you? I'm going to start with Gray.
Why me? Okay. Well, it's going to be the first time me sharing this. It's not been that long, but I think it's worth it. According to the work I do, fighting for people who even don't know you, but you really feel their pain out there. I think that there is no one who's going to represent them. And they say we are holding a flag onto something. Yeah, so repeat the question.
Again, we are sharing that there are those moments, there are those loud voices that have been in your heart for so long and you've not gotten a chance to listen to it. So I just want us to bring ourselves to a moment where we felt like our voices are being taken away from us.
Yeah.
What was that, and how did it feel at that moment for you?
Well, it echoes in the heart, breaking silence. The hurting part of my life, it was this year. Yeah, it was this year. It was around September. That is when I tested positive. Yeah. And the person who did it to me, I was drugged, first of all. And when I tried, I reached out to Hiraf. Yeah, and the reason they gave was we can bring the person and you talk about it. That was the last time I last talked to Justin, because Mulina Udidanga Tanyambie, some kind of, I don't know whether I was wrong, but after some time Naudidanga, I think it's okay because Sisobola Pulopa to police. Then they will detain us Fembi. You understand? Yeah. And until now I've never confronted that person to tell him, I don't know why, but I feel like it's not yet the right time. Because personally I'm not well. I'm not well because Jakabao, but time tells. You understand? Yeah, so deep down okulidanga, there are people like me bebasobola okutuusaako ekyo ekintu, yet I'm not that important, but people know me, abantu bammanyi. So I really feel kiyinza wulikika kitya when a figure like me is telling such kind of a story to people. Though ila chimpa chimpa amaanyi agasobola oyimuka, and I tell my story to the people abatamanyi nti we also naffe tulinga bo, anything can happen mu ngeri gy'otasobola kumanya. Yeah, so me, the moment I feel like my voice had to be heard, it's for those young youths okubeerawo nga you really wali obaddekawo nga ekintu kikulumiriza deep down ng'owulira oyagala okyogere because people keep on doing these mistakes. The mistakes I did, you understand? Ate teri muntu ayinza kuvaayo kwogera because you know our community leero okyogera before you know it, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But me deep down I don't care. That's what I chose and that's my lane that I'm going to follow right through. You understand?
Wow.
Because they really need to know. They really need to to be cautious about their lives.
Wow.
Yeah. So for they how they're going to take me, what they are going to say. Because basically, I even don't know. I have anger issues, as they said before. Ngo abantu mangu. You understand? Sicheguya. I don't know what's happening, but that's me. You understand? To an extent that I get a crush on someone, but after hanging out with them, without sleeping with them, banku koi. Yeah, so that's it.
Oh, wow. I just want to say that you are strong. And, you know, it breaks our hearts. It breaks our hearts that sometimes the places or the spaces that we run to be listened to sometimes tend not to be helpful, tend not to give us the opportunity to air out our voices so well. So as we rush to Black, what was that moment that you made when you were made quiet or silent, and to you it felt like a punishment? And how did it feel?
Yeah, how do I even segue from what has been discussed before? I think for me, it will go back to my toddler times, right? And you hear this constant voice of being normal. I don't know what it meant back then to tell a young 5-year-old to be normal, don't be too much, don't attract attention. And I had never done or been in spaces where I wanted to be more. I was just living out my life, doing toddler things.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I take this conversation from how we have been gendered in society to say to a child, don't wear pink because then you are seen as too girly. That's if you're a boy, right? Don't wear blue if you are a girl.
Yeah.
And so for me, then growing up, I've always had echoes in my head of you need to be normal, be normal, be normal, be normal. Don't stand out. Don't be too much. Silence your voice. Just keep quiet about certain things. Even when you feel like you need to speak about something, just be quiet because I've always been told, tone it down. And so to be able to now, as an adult, come out and echo and speak and have voice is an amazing thing to do. But also I'm reminded of the fact that I've always been told to tone it down.
Yeah.
Black, keep quiet a bit. Let other people shine. It's not your time. And so I feel like that is the echoes I've had from my past, from a child growing up to the person that I am right now. That even so, let me give a brief story about me. Is that when people see me in rooms and I'm talking, they think I've always had this passion of speech, of talk and everything. But no, I've always been into myself.
Yeah.
Into myself being Black the loner. And this lonely kind of situation came because of the voices I had around me that were telling me, you're too loud, be normal. And so going on into this journey of understanding what does it mean when somebody says be normal is to actually say, be quiet about the real parts of you, right?
Yeah.
Don't be the authentic you. Be fake in a society that wants us to be fake, right? And so for me then, being able to take back that power and start to have conversations that are louder than myself right now is to say, the young black 3, 4, 5 years old was deprived of that freedom of speech.
Wow.
And yeah, sadly, it didn't even come from home. It came from classrooms. It came from church. It came from places where I thought there was love and peace and harmony and all these things, but it wasn't the case. So yeah, those have been like the echoes in my heart, as we call it. Yeah.
Wow. Unfortunately, we live in a space or a world that wants us to be fake and not authentic. Because I believe when someone says, I was told not to act a certain way, you were simply being told not to be who you are. Simply being told not to be your authentic self, be someone else. So it's very absurd. Yes, Rainbow. As I said earlier, we are discussing, you're simply sharing at that moment where you felt like the silence inside you was very loud and it never felt like peaceful. You were always told to be quiet, not because you want to be quiet. Like Black has said, that they were pushed to be quiet and it became their personality, but it was never peaceful for them. How did that moment feel for you, and what was that cause towards that silence?
I mean, that felt like that in my life. I'm also gonna go back a little bit back in my childhood, growing up. You know very well, growing up as a very feminine boy, in an African context, home is a taboo. So it's one of the things that I always tell my girls, that always move away from the places that don't value you. I wasn't necessarily kicked out of my parents' home, but I left. You may ask, why did I leave? It reached a time because I was very feminine. My dad knew about me. So in that, they're treating me like an outsider. They're telling me all these sorts of things, like, don't be close to your siblings, you don't do this. It really connected that my own dad, built me a small house outside our home, a small house. I'm not quite sure if it's still there, but if it's still there, well and good, I don't care. A small house outside our house. It was like a kamabate, and you know very well those iron sheets, they are hot during the daytime and they're very cold in the night.
Wow.
So when it would rain, rain would go through under like this, sing a gaita one summers begat. And then I was like, why am I being here and I'm treated like, I'm an outsider in my dad's home? Like, even when visitors come, I'm the black sheep. I'm like, don't like, I was mostly treated like, it's a disease. So it basically tormented me so much. I had no one to talk to because, I thought I was alone. Thought maybe I was messed up. Something was wrong with me. So until I was like, what? Enough is enough. I do not know what I'm going to do next, but then I cannot be living this kind of life. Eating food, I have my own special plates. I sleep like this. Basically, like, I'm not allowed even to step in the main house. Like, I'm not treated as a human being, as like, enough is enough. It's high time for me to own me, and, I do not know. And yeah, here I am today. I think it was one of the best decisions I've made in my life, was getting out of that hell of a home.
Wow, thank you guys for sharing. When Rainbow was sharing, I also realized that silence always snatched away our sense of belonging. Because you cannot tell me your own father would, push you that far away. And it keeps on echoing the fact that you do not belong here, you're not welcome, you're not loved, you're not accepted. And these are things that actually affect our destinies tomorrow and the people that we are supposed to be. because we are made to be quiet even in moments where we are supposed to talk. Thank you guys for sharing. Then I also think we all carry a story that hums quietly beneath the surfaces. There is always that humming within you where you feel like you're not contented. We've never been told because it feels too raw, too dangerous, too scared. Mine has always been a story of learning to belong to myself again. That's what I was talking about. It snatches away your sense of belonging, and you're not allowed to feel like you belong in a certain space. It's absurd that you actually do not feel like you belong in your own home with your own family and people, and those are our primary steps and levels of life. You grow up within your family, but it's unfortunate for queer and trans or LGBTI persons that you're snatched away from that sense of belonging at a very tender age. So I want us to know, how about, this is me now, but how about you? How have you felt when that moment came? Which story that has been living under your skin, waiting for the world to be safe enough for you to share it with the world? Whoever that can come first.
Yeah, like as I said before, that's the story. And what's so disappointing with that, I'm so close. Okay, I was so close with my mom. And when she got to know about my sexuality, she was okay with that. Yeah, but when I came, I called her, so I had to meet her. And deep down, I felt like she needed to know my status currently. And the most surprising thing, when I told her, she was one of the first people, like, when alinzikiriza nti asobola okumbeererawo, because yasobola okkiriza kikyendi. Okay. But right now, I'm like, how dare she? Like,
did she judge you?
She judged me and she told me, it's okay, muleke.
Wow.
Paka iwali salawo diwana ayagala okwogera nange.
Okay.
Because she said so labeera na bisirani bibiri in the family. So that's when I got to know nti nekyasooka yagumira kigumire. She was not really okay with that. You understand? And she just left the table. She banged the table and she left. She blocked me everywhere. I had no connection with the dad, and I thought they are bali tebakwatagana na muzei, but she went on to look for that dad to tell him that viwangamba manya vitufu what and what. Before I knew it, after 4 years, my dad was calling. And he was like, Toviraba, didn't I tell you? You understand?
Wow.
So it's so hurting okuba nti the abantu boolabye ate mu bukulu, they are the people who can be your parents. They are the people abasobola okwagala ku lwekyo ky'oli. And it's so sad that a parent, omuntu asobola okukira ku makya n'akuzaala asobola okuvaamu even at the last moment. But kyanyambako kimu, I got to know the real her, because that meant that even my sexuality yali tajagala. Because she was like, so avera bisirani bibiri munju and nga byonna biva muntu omu.
Wow. I wish I could give you a hug.
I've had many. No kaba nakowa, that's the fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's move to Black.
I don't know how then I get to it's sort of like segue into this conversation, but I would take it from what Gray has been able to speak about, of how you're not looked at as a human being just because you live this way and behave a certain way, right? And so for me, the story that has been dying to come out, I know it might come out as a cliche to most of us, but for me it is very dear, of saying that me as Black, as a transgender person operating in Uganda and having to live my daily life here, is that first of all, I'm a human being. I don't know why people think that because you're trans, you're gay, you're this, you're that, sort of takes away the humanity in you, right? So for me, the story I've been dying to tell people lately that has been trying to come out of my skin, is to say, we are human beings, first of all. You bleed blood, I do bleed blood. I have feelings, you do have feelings. I am hurt by the nonsense you talk about that later hurts the whole community, right? For you, it is about fun and likes and comments on whatever platforms we used lately. But for me, it is a matter of life and death. And this is my life. There is nothing like choice, money that I was paid to behave a certain way. So for me, is to also debunk the misconception that for you to actually qualify to be trans, LGBT, is to then have somebody pay you some money in the bank somewhere to behave a certain way. So I really, really dying to just do away with that, because we are a community that has been dealing with a lot of shit and having to traverse this environment with nothing to us but just community and love that is poured out into each other, because we are a community that does understand each other. So for me, it was just to debunk that. And then the second thing is to say to the world that I don't need validation to live my authentic self. And I think I've done that for the longest of times, where I thought that maybe if I dressed a certain way, I would be loved more.
Yeah.
Maybe if I got this degree, I would be loved more. So this is my story. This is how I tell people. Growing up, I thought that when I would come into a community and serve people, I would be loved more. I wasn't loved more. I thought that when I grow up and take on more degrees, which I have done in terms of upscaling myself with education, I would be loved more. I have been told I'm not enough, right? When I stepped into the job workforce to try and start to survive and make a living out for myself, is then I was also told in those spaces that I thought I have arrived that I was not enough, right? So my story is, you are not enough everywhere you've been. But me now to be able to reclaim this is to say, Black, you are actually enough, right? And so this story has been dying to come out, that you are enough. You don't have to do so much to fit in. Those that will love you, and those that will not, will not. So, yeah, that is my story, to sort of say I've been wanting to pull this out into the world.
Wow, thank you, Rainbow. We want to hear that story that you waited so much to get a chance and share with the world, to let them see the light that you've kept dimmed inside you.
One is basically is we all know very well, and we all agree that no child deserves to go through what we all go through. The times I cry to myself in bed, I'm like, how I wish my mom was with me and held my hand, because the things that I've had to do just to survive. And at just 17, I was doing sex work. Yes, I was doing sex work at 17. So, and every time I look back into my life, I'm like, God, no child should go through this just because of who they are. And I'm like, I wish I know I'd gone through this with someone to hold my hand, or my mom, my dad told me that it will be okay, all of this. But then in the end of it all, they don't care, they don't want to know. But as Black said, don't seek for validation. All we want is to be considered human, to be seen, and to feel like we belong here. And the story that I've been always wanting to tell the world is that we endure so many hardships just because of who we are. I had to sleep with older men at 17 because I had nowhere to sleep when I left my parents' home. And I was a very feminine boy from the start. So men would just look at you and be like, you know what? And yes, they would take advantage of you, but also you do not refuse because, you know, that's your only way, that's your only chance of survival. And it hurts me so much that, you know, it's not, don't only end on me or black or gray, but then, you know, there are many kids that are coming day by day. As I speak right now, people are giving birth. So we do not know if they're trans, queer, or straight, so or heterosexual. So if the world keeps moving the way it's moving, so how much harm are we causing instead of good that we claim to fight for as human beings?
Well, thank you. You just said something that I actually find very interesting. For me, the story that I've always wanted, that I still want the world to know and take in by force, is them to realize that queerness or this community is not here today or tomorrow or yesterday. This community is here forever. You just mentioned that a lot of queer babies are being born. Even at this moment, there is a queer child that is being brought to this world. So if the world is really ready to fight this battle for the rest of time, that we do not know when the world is going to end, I feel like people just need to take in the truth that we are here, we exist. This brings us to our last discussion. That now, finally, that you've had the chance to raise your voice and share whatever that you're sharing in a space like this, what does it mean for you to finally break that silence? There is something powerful about this space because you're feeling seen, feeling heard, feeling accepted. Now I believe all of us are feeling a sense of belonging, because for me, breaking silence feels like finally exhaling after holding my breath for so long. Because I know all of us, with what that we've shared, I believe there is that relaxation that has went through your nerves. And you're like, oh, thank you, I've shared this. So I appreciate the fact that you're having this space. So how does it feel for you to finally share that and simply giving yourself to the permission to exist freely and loud? At this time, I'm going to start from down. Yeah. Let's start with Rainbow and...
I do not, one thing I tell myself is I do not need anyone's validation to what to live or to be happy. All I need is to make myself happy. I don't care about what others see or even think about me. All I care about is what I'm doing. Is it making me happy? Is it giving me a peace of mind? You know, do I like what I do? And the most amazing thing I love is I love being me. I love the girl that I am, the girl that I've grown to be. She has been resilient. She has fought battles, and she has walked through hellfire and come out the other way still standing. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think just for the listeners, we should all know that queerness is not a Western intervention. It's part of us being human beings. We are born queer. We are born trans. It's not something we learn. If we wanted to, if we could, like how people say that we could turn heterosexual, we would have. No one would endure all these kind of disrespect, the persecution, things that we go through, the harassment, the embarrassment, all of that, the homelessness, everything, and still remain queer. No, if there was an option, my dear, trust me, I would take heterosexual. But if there's an option again, I would still choose to be trans because I love me.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, how do you even top that? Wow. Thank you. You have sort of grounded me with that response. Beautiful question. So I feel like for me, being able to speak out now is really freeing. It's grounding. It reminds me of how I was going to quote something from the Bible, but I don't want to butcher it. You know how they throw seeds on whatever rocky ground, and then suddenly it found a way to sprout out. Yeah. And so for me, this was a voice that was buried in my childhood, but surprisingly, it's the same voice that is making a lot of noise, and it feels less like shouting and more of agency to the self.
Yes.
Right? So me being able to speak. And I think the most beautiful thing is then when you're able to give people platform to voice out and say, how are you feeling? And do you see me? Because if you see me, then you realize that we have sort of a resemblance in each other.
Yeah.
And then if we are able to have that conversation, which is about being able to speak, right?
Yes.
Then it gives power to the person telling their story. So for me, this sort of conversation that we're having today is very freeing. It's empowering. It's reminding me of how voices can never be buried forever, and the refusal of fear to take control of my life. Because then I would also have chosen to stay silent about everything in life that I'm witnessing and seeing, but I'm using my voice to speak about those things. So for me, it is a sense of responsibility, love, but also refusing fear to take control of it.
Well, let's move to Gray. Thank you, Black. That was beautiful.
Yeah, as Mona said, deep down the sand yagadde kikome kunze. Being a queer person, chidalama you can get family. But being queer, and at the same time you are HIV positive, that's also another battle to fight. Because abantu bo benyina abadde bakwagala, they're the people who fight you. You understand?
Yes.
Outside, the so-called straight people, nabo bachiraba bubi, naffe ffennyini. Nabo bachiraba bubi. I've had that time I've had space with the people who are like me, queer and the HIV positive, but also basanga, and the reason why they stay quiet to an extent of okubusiiga. You understand? Because they are gamba nze like nze nga naime tombulira what and what. Nange sakyagala kikola kifuna. You understand?
Yeah.
Obuzubuli nti when they open up, abantu bebagamba, they end up babisasanya. Ate teri muntu no one in this world yandiyagadde kwebaka na muntu ki. You understand? So kati oli agamba nze instead of living that life mfemanya akuna muyimo without having sex, I rather hide wire. I rather some negative. You understand?
Yeah.
Which is not okay. It's not nice. That's what I know. Bokalo, maybe yes, they feel it's safe for them. Yes, it's safe, but at times they chikola. Yeah, and my message to every youth out there who's HIV positive: you take your meds, take care of your life. Mire dagala, werabirire. Tekasobola kwetimbako when you do those things. You understand?
Wow.
And believe me or not, tukulaba jetuli. You're seen, you're heard, and you're worth living. You know, you don't know like how many times I tried taking my own life before seeing the therapist I'm seeing right now. But deep down, you should find your own. Deep down, like the strength deep down in you. It's all Okurani, the depression you're passing through and all that you're going through, you know. And before me telling, before coming out saying all this, I once told my friend, even Mona knows, and my friend said, why are you being Jesus? You understand? But I don't know, I have that deep feeling, dying with something down, okitegeera. Omwana n'avaayo n'ajja n'akubulira ebizibu bisina kyakulya, I'm like this. You understand? At the end of the day, n'okaaba gwe ate gwe bakaabira ebizibu, you're crying. You understand? Me, I take time to heal, but once I talk about something, I heal faster.
Yeah.
So abaleyo, anyone who will be listening to this, talk it through with someone.
Yeah.
You never know what could happen. Abantu gye bali abalungi were ready to listen and to help. You understand? May had an issue of emotional support. Waliwo badekawo nga you really want someone to be there ninga olaba waali nenga mutima olaba like they are not doing enough as you could want them.
Yeah.
Just because it's not their fault, but you're really vulnerable at that point, or itambulumi, I really feel like Mona, yes, my friend, naye to a certain point I don't feel you. There are conversations I should really want. Ngo omuntu.
It's not enough.
Nga it's not enough. You understand? Yeah, but for everyone out there, your strength, buli mugwe, will do the talking, will do what? Naye, your strength is in you. And to everyone positive out there, don't forget to take your meds. Take care of your life.
No.
Yeah. Being depressed, it's not going to like take away the plus and it gives you a negative sign. Just fight hard. You reach to that point of you equals you. Because I only gamba negative, never put never kebeda. There is no proof for that. You understand? Yeah, so yeah.
Thank you so much, Gray. I'm loving this conversation, and it's absurd that we are coming to an end of a conversation. I personally, as I said earlier, it means when we speak up, it simply means we are giving ourselves permission to live loud, free, and fully. We are not suppressed by the voices out there. So I want to appreciate you, beautiful souls, Rainbow, Black, and Gray. Thank you for giving us the chance to be part of your journey of breaking the silence and speaking out of those stories that and you never got chance to tell. It is a pleasure that at Echoes of Heart, you guys have chosen to give these stories and share with the world. It's beautiful because every truth that is spoken here is a light for someone that is still in the dark. It is, you're saving someone that has been hidden in the dark, someone that is being put in a box, someone that is being told to be quiet, someone like Black that we're told to tone it down. You understand? Someone that is trying to find home even when the doctors tell them they are positive. But when they hear such stories, they get encouraged. They feel like they get a chance to live again. So thank you guys for sharing. We are gonna close, but before we close, I want us to complete this softly from our heart. I'm gonna say it, you will say whatever that you feel that comes in your heart. I'm gonna say a statement and we complete it together. Everyone is going to say a word to complete the statement. One truth I am finally ready to live out loud is... I'll say it again. One truth I am finally ready to live out loud is...
One truth I am ready to...
I am finally ready to live out loud is...
Me.
That's amazing.
Brave.
That's beautiful.
Resilient.
That's amazing. For me, courageous. Thank you so much for your courage. May our hearts find the hearts that need them most. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
I love this.